Last new part of level 2 and this unit before you get to that formative assessment. You can do it. So we're going to talk about what's called a better buy, right? So you are a savvy shopper. So we're going to go shopping. You're a savvy shopper. You want to make sure you're getting the better buy, right? Like you don't want to waste your money. You want to make sure you're getting the good price. So we're going to use unit rates, aka unit prices is what that could also be called, to help determine which is the better buy of each item here. So let's go ahead and jump into this first example. We're talking about Honey Nut Cheerios. And so we've got one option is 12 ounces for $3.29. The other option is 17 ounces for $3.79. So right now, we cannot compare these because if you look, there's nothing the same. Remember when we did that with the tables back in the last grid? We always had to find something that was the same so that way it was actually comparing something accurately, right? Like if it's not talking about the same amount of something, we can't accurately compare how much like one is compared to the other. So we're going to find the unit rate, scale it down to, in this case, 1 ounce, and then we'll be able to compare what those unit prices are, and that'll be an accurate comparison. So let's go ahead and jump into this first one. So we're going to set it up just like we were on the last ones. It's going to sound very similar to the last one, just different scenarios. So we've got $3.29 over 12 ounces. We always want that cost per whatever we're talking about. So in this case, cost per ounce, right? That's what we talk about in the real world. We don't usually say ounces per dollar. We say cost per ounce, whatever we're talking about. Okay, we're going to scale down to 1 ounce. I'm sorry, I know it says cup, it should say 1 ounce. I think I forgot to make that change as we went through, so just change that to ounce on yours. And so to go from 12 down to 1, we are dividing by 12, just like we did on the last one, right? 12 divided by 12 gives you 1. So we're doing $3.29 divided by 12 as well, because whatever we do to one, we have to do to the other. So that's what we're going to set up down here, okay? We're going to have $3.29 on the inside, and we're dividing that by 12, so 12 is on the outside, and we're going to start our process just like we did on the last one. Okay, so 12 fits into 3 0 times, and I can go through that whole process if I want, or I can just jump to the next one. Don't forget to pop up your decimal. So 12 goes into 32 2 times, so I'm going to put my 2 there. 2 times 12 gives us 24. And again, if I'm ever going too fast, feel free to pause the video, catch up with your work. That is totally fine. So 32 minus 24 leaves us with 8. So we have to bring down our next number, which is 9. So we're going to bring down that 9. 12 fits into 89. 7 times. I was giving you a moment to see if you could think of it yourself. 7 times 12 is 84. Again, you can always pause and try this division on your own if you'd like. I'm just going through it quickly because we've already talked about this. So that leaves us with 5. I have to go one more time because I need to know what this next number is to know, is this going to stay 27 cents because it's going to be 4 or less for this number, or is it going to go bump up to 28 cents because it's 5 or higher? Because remember, with money, we can only go 2 places behind the decimal, right? We can't go any smaller than a penny. So we have to know what this third number is to know if it's going to stay the same or bump up. So I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down. And we want to know that 12 fits into 50 4 times. You can actually stop there. Now, if you want to continue on, you can, but you do not need to keep going on and on because this number is going to keep going on, and that's not our point. Our point is we just want to know to the nearest cent, what would 1 ounce be? And again, I know I put C here. It should be ounces. I'm sorry for that mistake. So because this is a 4 with our rounding rules, remember, 4 or less, let it rest is what some people will say. So it means it stays the same. So this is going to be 27 cents is what this first one's going to be. Okay. So now we need to do the next one to see, is it going to be 27 cents or less? If it's less, it's going to be the better buy. If it's not, then the 12 ounce is going to be the better buy. So let's set this one up the same way. So we got $3.79 over 17 ounces. We're scaling down to 1 ounce. Again, ignore the C. It should be OZ for ounces. I'm sorry about that. To go from 17 down to 1, we're dividing by 17. Again, very similar to what we've been doing. We're going to do the same thing to the top. Okay. So then we're getting our $3.79 set up with the 17. And as I showed you, it doesn't fit into 3, but it does fit into 37 2 times. 2 times 17 gives us 34. That's how we got that. Subtract, we get 3. We're going to bring down the 9. And 17 fits into 39 twice again. So right now you might already be like, hey, that's already going to be less than 27. You are correct. That is going to be the better buy, but let's finish out the problem. We only have a little bit left to do. So 2 times 17 is 34. Subtract, we end up with 5. I'm going to add that 0 and bring it down. And 17 fits into 50. Again, only 2 times. We had a lot of 2's on this one, but we don't need to go any further because we know that this is going to round to 22 cents because that 2 is going to keep this 2 exactly the same. So because this one's only 22 cents versus the 27 cents over here, when we're talking about 1 ounce, that means that this one is the better buy. 17 ounces for $3.79. That's the better buy because when we scale down to the unit rate, we could easily compare the prices. Let's try one more example. I know I'm making you a little hungry, and oh, this is one of my favorites. I love Nutella. I know it says Honey Nut Cheerios. It should say Nutella. Sorry, I must have just not been reading very carefully on this one. You can just change it on yours. All right, so we have 22 ounces of Nutella for $6.49. We are going to set that up first, and we are scaling down to 1 ounce. Again, should be ounces. Man, I really need to do some editing. I'll have to talk to Ms. Montgomery about those editing skills. Anywho, so 22 down to 1 is divided by 22. Do the same thing to the top, right? We are pros at this by now. We've got $6.49 on the inside, 22 on the outside. It's not going to fit into 6. We pop up our decimal, right? This is really review. 22 fits into 64 2 times. 2 times 22 is 44. Subtract, we get 20. Again, if I'm ever going too fast, please feel free to pause. I'm just giving you a quick review of dividing. You can even pause and try this on your own if you'd like. Up to you. Anywho, we're going to bring down this 9. Now, I know this number got kind of big, but if you think about 22 being close to 20 and 209 is close to 200, well, that would be 10 times, right? 20 times 10 would give us 209, but that's going to be a little too big because we rounded, so we would try 9. Let's try 9 and see if it works. Because if I try 9, and you might need to do 22 times 9 off to the side, but I will help you out if you didn't do that on your own. It is 198. That's what we end up getting. So then we need to subtract, so I know that 9 minus 8 is 1, 20 minus 19 is also 1, so I end up with 11. Okay, and then we gotta go one more time because we gotta know what this number is, so I'm gonna bring that 0 down, and 22 fits into 110 exactly 5 times. So we end up with those 0 leftovers. Now that 5 is gonna make the 9 bump up, which then makes the 20 bump up, right? So it would bump up from 29 to 30, so it's gonna be 30 cents. Is what we would have as our answer for this one, okay? Last one, I know you've been doing a lot of division here, but let's finish this problem out. So you got $8.49 over 30 ounces, because that's what we're doing for this one. We want to scale down to 1 ounce. Again, should be OZ. We are dividing by 30 down to 1. So we divide the top by 30, exact same thing, set up our problem, so $8.49 divided by 30. I'm sure you're getting bored of this by now, but let's finish it up. We've got 0 here because 30 doesn't fit into 8. Pop up the decimal. 30 fits into 84 2 times. 2 times 30 is 60. Subtract, we get 24. We're going to bring down that 9. So I use the strategy of covering up the 9 and the 0 and think, okay, how many times does 3 fit into 224? So 3 fits into 24 8 times. 8 times 30 now, so we just add that 0 at the end, is going to be 240. Subtract, we're left with 9. We have to add that 0 and finish out the problem. We're almost there. 30 fits into 90 3 times. I can stop because now that 3 is going to tell me that 28 is going to stay the same. So we get 28 cents for that one, meaning that this is the better buy by just a few cents. Whew, that was a lot of work. So now you've got a better buy activity to do. You can see, and I'm sure you've noticed them before, that we got some items around the room for you to compare. You have to pick at least 4 to do. So if you want to do all these 4 on the front page, that's fine. If you want to mix and match and do, I don't care. You just have to do at least 4. And make sure you're checking with the answer key, either on the board or digitally. And make sure what you're doing is that you are finding the unit rate or unit price for the one item, then do it for the other item, and then you're going to show us by checking or filling in this box which one was the better buy. Was it option 1 or option 2? Just like we did, we just circled, but you're going to be filling in the boxes. And then the last thing you need to do before you move on to the assessment is please don't forget to get that quick check. That is the one quick check that you need to go get from the black hanging pockets, okay? So at least 4 of these you have to do, the quick check, and then you're ready to move on, okay? Feel free to do more if you'd like, but Other than that, good luck. You can do it. Savvy shopping.